Hi everyone, my name is Mallory and today I'm going to be talking about why I believe social media should be regulated and the pros and cons to social media. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I am going to CSU Global for a marketing degree, so I am in the process of learning more about social media, and I in no way have any negative feelings about social media. These are just going to be why I believe that social media should be regulated, but in the future, if I do obtain a marketing position, I will have to be familiar on how to use these sites more. I first wanted to start off by talking about all of the benefits of social media and why so many people choose to use it. Now, first of all, social media is great at keeping you in touch with family and friends. So if you live in a different area than where you grew up, or if you have friends and family that live on the other side of the globe, the other side of the country, or even across the street, social media is great at keeping you in touch with these people. It's great at sharing pictures, video calling, instant messaging, or even sharing life updates with others that you may not have done if there wasn't social media. It's also great at keeping you in touch with people that you probably wouldn't have kept in touch with, like people you went to high school with but you weren't friends with. It's just a great way to network yourself and to meet new people. With that being said, also social media is great at motivating others. So for example, let's say that you saw a person on social media that had lost a lot of weight from following a diet and fitness regimen. That may motivate you to follow one yourself and to live a healthier lifestyle. So I do believe social media can be great at motivating others. Also, social media is great for learning. So for example, YouTube. Now, if you were to go to YouTube and type in how to cook chicken, there will be thousands of videos that will pop up of showing you how to cook chicken. And the same thing goes for changing a tire or painting your house or even giving a haircut. So social media is great at informing you of things that you may not have done before or may not have had the resources to do before. And I do believe a lot of people use social media for that reason because they are trying to educate themselves. Now, social media is also great for social issues. So, for example, if somebody goes missing, such as getting kidnapped or they just completely vanish, many times on social media websites like Facebook, there will be a poster made for this person, and many people online will share that and get the word out for where is this person, have you seen this person, and ultimately help try to find this person. So I do think that social media is really great at bringing people together for a cause, and I do think that that's probably one of the best reasons for social media is that it really can bring people together. Another reason I do believe that social media is great is because it's a creative outlet for a lot of people. For example, one of my interests and my hobbies is photography, and although I'm not very good at that, I'm okay, I guess, but even though I'm not a professional photographer is what I'm trying to say, social media is great at being able to display your work or things that you've accomplished online. So for having an Instagram photography page, or if you make something, or if you sing, I believe social media is really good at allowing you to display yourself better through that outlet than if you were to not have social media. I think it would be harder to get the word out about yourself without social media. So I also wanted to talk about the cons of social media and why I do believe it should be regulated. So for one, the first negative attribute that comes with social media is oversharing. Now, a lot of the times, many people, especially on Facebook, may overshare. And this could be where their children goes to school, this could be pictures of their baby's birth date and their age, or it could just be, hey, I'm going through a rough patch in my life, and by no means is this a bad thing, but if the wrong person were to see this, it could ruin opportunities for yourself, or it could endanger you, yourself, or people that you love. Another negative attribute with social media would be, many of the times this happens with teenagers, but the social media challenges that happen. So a few years ago, or maybe it was last year, on TikTok, there was a challenge called the Tide Pod Challenge, and many teenagers would go and eat Tide Pods, and it was absolutely horrible, and many people would end up sick in the hospital because they were trying to beat this challenge on social media. So I think many of the times, sometimes teenagers don't have that common sense, or they just think they're trying to be funny. And it's not even with teenagers, I've seen adults do it too, but a lot of the times if the wrong person sees this, they might try to outdo the actions that the last person did, and it could eventually harm them. Another big one is going to be cyberbullying. Now, cyberbullying is taken very seriously, and a lot of times I do believe social media sites like Facebook and Instagram will try and regulate it, but I don't think it necessarily is gone. I think it still happens every day. And I don't think it's necessarily just by teenagers, but I think it's also by adults too. For example, if you have ever looked at like a middle school or high schooler's Facebook page, if they say something mean to another high school student, or they message a high school student if they got into an argument, this could ultimately lead to bigger issues like depression or even suicide in teenagers because of cyberbullying. But this also happens with adults too. I mean, even last year with the election, after watching some of the debates, I would go on to Facebook and I would just see just statuses and comments from news articles about this person did a better job of the debate than this person, and then hundreds of people will comment on it and say, no, this person did it, and they'll call this person a bad name and this person a bad name, and it just ultimately leads to cyberbullying. So I do believe that social media is really toxic when it comes to that, and I do believe that it should be limited as much as possible. As I've mentioned before, oversharing is very prominent on social media. Even sharing or tagging your location or your favorite restaurant can be detrimental to you if you don't use social media in the right way. Strangers can find you, they can follow you, and they can stalk you, so it is important to be mindful when you're posting things and pictures and statuses of what you're posting, and really be cautious as to what you post. I do believe social media is detrimental to mental health, especially teenagers, and more specifically teenage girls. And this is because I've seen a lot of this on Instagram, but a lot of girls will compare themselves to others. And I wouldn't even say this is teenage girls, I would say this is women as well, and young men and men. And I don't really feel like it's just one age group. I feel like this applies to anybody. And I feel like social media has been really bad about this, is that we see someone online who seems to have it all. They've got a great job, a great family, they're beautiful, they're fit, they're in shape, and they're looking at themselves and they're like, wow, I'm the same age and I don't have any of those things. Or someone my age could be just now starting off getting a job and living in their first apartment, and someone else my age could also be in a manager of a position or a CEO and have their own house. So I do believe that social media can be toxic when it comes to comparing yourself with others. This also comes with validation. So I feel like many times, especially young women and women, They will post pictures of themselves seeking validation from others, whether that be with likes and comments. And recently, Instagram has even allowed the option for you to turn off turn off likes and comments on pictures so that you're not comparing yourself to somebody else and saying, oh, well, I didn't get as many likes and comments on my picture as they did, so I may not be as worthy as them. So I do feel like social media is really bad at regulating that, and I'm happy to see that Instagram has taken some action to allow you to turn those off so you're not comparing yourself to others as much. With that is also going to be instant gratification. Many times when you're posting a picture on Instagram, and especially with young women and teenagers, they use those likes as gratification, and that will release dopamine, and they will feel happier the more likes they get, and they will feel like more people want them, more people think they're beautiful, so on and so forth. So I do think that can be very toxic. Now, besides those things, social media is also bad at allowing you to not turn yourself off, and this can cause a lack of sleep. For example, have you ever been on TikTok and you've just been watching video after video after video, and soon you've realized, oh wow, I've been on TikTok for 30 minutes, and you didn't even realize it. And the same goes for Facebook. I mean, you could just be scrolling your timeline and not even realize how long you've been on Facebook unless you've been paying attention. So I do believe it could be a waste of time if you just don't pay attention to how long you've been on it. Also, I think that overall, social media does lead to depression and anxiety because you are not having those social skills in person. You are not talking to these people in person. You're not focusing your time on people in your life, and you're doing it on your phone or on your computer. So overall, I feel like social media has more negative attributes to it than positive, and I do feel like it would be best to be regulated. I know on many cell phones, I have the iPhone, but it does monitor how many hours you've been on your phone, and it monitors your screen time, and lately I've been trying to lower it each week just to get off my phone and just have more time to collect my thoughts and to focus on things that I want to do and things that I need to get done and more productive things. And I feel like when I am spending less time on social media, I am being more productive. I'm not sitting around watching videos on TikTok. I'm doing homework, or I'm spending time with family, or whatever it is. So that is why I believe that social media should be reduced, and you should try and spend as least amount of time as possible on social media. Thank you.